think Jorginho
better. He's definitely an upgrade defensively.
I mean, the thing is when you say he's definitely an upgrade, are you saying that with the benefit of revisionism? Are you saying that now because you bought this player?
No,
and
because
now you're
he's
saying
32 years old and his legs are gone, mate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is last season, not this season.
Wait, arrow in the trim.
The season before, Jorginho was very good next to Rice. You know, he helped you a lot.
And he also cost us on transition versus Spurs.
But I'm saying it's
like Aston Villa.
I listen to Arsenal fans talk a lot about why Partey missing from the PSG first game, for example.
Yeah, but Partey also cost us
was a material reason why you didn't do better in that game.
Yeah,
now
but that was because of his own
now you're going to play a season without Partey. You're going to play a season without an able backup.
But Zubimendi is going to be the replacement for Partey. At the end of the day, I don't think it's a materialistic. I don't think it's a thing where it's like we've gotten worse. Arguably, I would say Norgard is currently better than Jorginho. I'm not saying he's better than Partey.
1 million percent. Yeah, 1 million percent.
I think Norgard is definitely better than Jorginho at this moment in time.
Okay,
as for Zubimendi and Partey, you can say those two cancel each other out. But Zubimendi is going to be cheaper wage-wise, and he's much younger and has much scope.
You're basically cutting in half, isn't it? But let's be real. I know, Aaron, you want to say, you know what? Go on, Aaron.
Basically, what we've done then is spend 65 million quid on the midfield and stand still. Then
exactly.
That's
what we've done is we've gotten younger and we've reduced the wage bill.
I also think
I'll agree with you.
It's very smart business.
But we're not here to make smart business. Hold on one sec. We're not here to make smart business. Who's the better players? Who's the better players? The better players are with Thomas Partey in the team. And we have not got Thomas Partey in the team now.
We don't know that going forward for the next 2 years. Who's better?
But all of you lot are sucking up Zubimendi like he's the next coming up. The problem we've got with Zubimendi, and you get this with all the players, whatever, but everyone's like, oh yeah, he's here, bang, replace Thomas Partey. We've got 5 years of Thomas Partey playing in Arsenal systems and in the Premier League. Zubimendi could come in and he might just not cut it in the Premier League. You don't know that. So to say, but you're laughing, to say that he's going to be better than Thomas Partey 100%. Is ridiculous. You can't say that. I hope he comes in and go on. I want to carry on.
What I'm trying to say is, I agree with your point to a large extent, but I draw a line because it's like Zubimendi Partey is that's what would have been nice for Arsenal going into the season. But when you lose Partey, now it's Norgard instead of Partey. So it's hard to, when people are saying 2 for 2.
Oh, we're still worse off.
What I'm
saying is we spent 65 million pounds to have the worst midfielder. Guess what Arsenal's done? Yeah, listen to this again before you carry on. No. I've just got in. No. Don't be rude. Calm yourself down in your tank top. Don't be rude. I've just got in.
I'm not even being rude. I'm just saying,
Yes, you are. Arsenal Football Club. Thomas Partey, 45 million. Odegaard, 35 million. Lokonga, 70 million. Vieira, 35. Jorginho, 11. Havertz, 65. Rice, 105. Mourinho, 35. Norgard, 11. Zubimendi, 55. Arsenal spent 414 million pound on their midfield. And what we've got for it is a player that's unproven in the Premier League in Zubimendi. We've got Odegaard, who's been regressing for the last 2 seasons, and Declan Rice out of fucking position. It's retarded on multiple levels at this football club. And we ain't even got the better top 4 midfield in there. Chelsea's got better midfield than Arsenal. Man City's got a better football. Liverpool's got a better midfield. What are we doing here? What are we actually doing here? And everyone's going to come in and defend that. It's nonsense. 414 million quid. And this is what we've got to show for it in the midfield. Mikel fucking Marino and sitting there, man. Oh, come off it, man. Come off it. Arsenal Football Club, in terms of business, has been a shambles. And as it stands, we've spent 65 million quid on it, and it's fucking worse. What are we doing here?
So listen, I don't want to overly defend Arsenal, but there was a couple of things where I'm like, the point you're making can be broadly right, but you don't have to kill certain things. Like, no one goes like 10 for 10 in transfers. Do you know what I mean? So obviously Arsenal have transfers that haven't worked out. You have obviously got some very good midfielders. Like, whether you've got Odegaard, Rice, Marino is a Spanish international. Like, obviously Zubimendi's just come in. Like, you have got good players. You've got good players. We don't need to, we can argue about the money that's been wasted on people like Lokonga and Vieira and putting that money together and getting a higher quality player, cool, with you, 100%. But what I'm trying to look at here is like, I get where Arsenal fans are kind of upset because the rest of the team, it's like Partey is 31. You know, you have gotten younger with Zubimendi. I know Norgard is Norgard, but I don't know. I think obviously like you got to buy the attackers. I'm not like, if I'm looking at what Arsenal have done so far, like it's fine, it's decent, it's good. It's like there's some decent players that they've brought in. Like it's not horrific, and so I'm not sure whether you're as annoyed because you've had a bad season and you've got a lot of pressure on the club, or whether you genuinely believe some of your midfielders aren't good. Because as a rival fan, as a Spurs fan, I'm saying to you, you have got good players. Like
but
you
they're
have
not good enough. That's the problem, bro. They're not good enough.
It's not for me. It's not necessarily like the player level, like necessarily, like because it's so like you can't necessarily just sit here and say that this player is going to come into this league and he's going to flop, or this player is going to come into this league and he's going to succeed. Like you can't say that. You just can't say it, right? But like if you look at like the style of football that you're actually providing when you actually bring in these midfielders, there's not actually a line breaker anymore. Partey was the line breaker back in when you had Partey. When you're talking about like what Zubimendi is really good at, is he's good at getting the balls to the outside. He's good at getting the ball to the wingers as quickly and getting to the ball to those wide midfielders. So if he's playing out, if you're planning on playing him at the 6, he'll get the ball to Odegaard pretty quickly. Like that is something that you'll be able to see. But if you're talking about like what Partey was good at, was being able to get the ball from the back line, turn, and be able to get it quickly to the strikers. And that's something
his shoulder, yeah, he was excellent at that.
And that's something that you're not going to get as much from Zubimendi. That's the difference, in my opinion. I also don't think Zubimendi's as combative as Partey is, like when it comes to duels. And the duel numbers might be different from what I don't look at you guys' players' numbers, to be honest. But like the duel numbers can be different. But like from my eye test of like watching these players, like he is not nearly as combative as what Partey can do. So it's like like you're gonna ask Rice to do more in this sense with Zubimendi here. That's kind of the way that it ends up working out. So like I just wonder how he's gonna move it, right? With all these tall players, with all like how is Arteta gonna play with this? Because like to me, it seems like you're going back to the wing system where the wings are gonna be getting the ball over and over and over again. Like that's the way I see it end up playing.
Let me say
is it not like
one second, Jay. Let me jump in here. I think you guys are missing a trick here that hasn't been mentioned throughout the whole part of this conversation. Thomas Partey is 32 years old. To put him on improved wages from 200K a week to 250K a week, which was reportedly what he's demanding, making him the second highest paid player at the club, where there's no guarantee that he's going to be starting week in, week out for the next 2 years, going into his 33rd year and his 34th year, by the fact that we have a 26-year-old Zubimendi who we're just signing to potentially be the next starting defensive midfielder. And if he's not starting, we will also have Declan Rice, who we spent £100 million to also who can play in the defensive midfield. So when we're talking about getting worse, is Thomas Partey at 32 years old worth giving him 250K a week for the next 2 years? I don't think there's no guarantee to say for the next 2 years he's going to be either fit enough or playing at a high enough standard to warrant those kind of wages. And that could then potentially screw up our negotiations with Bukayo Saka, screw up our negotiations with Saliba, screw up our negotiations with everyone going forward, and what kind of wages they would demand, and it can completely mess up the wage bill.
They already screwed that up with Havertz on 280 and Jesus on 265. Oh, and guess what? If Arsenal Football Club hadn't have let Thomas Partey, fair. If they hadn't have let him go to the end of his contract, we wouldn't be in this conversation anyway.
I agree with you.
It last season.
I agree with you. But who's in charge of that? Garlic. Who's in charge of that? Edu. Why didn't they get that sorted? I don't know. That's not my business. At this moment in time, he's here. We're at the end of the window. We're at the end of the window, and we have a choice. Do we give him a new deal? They offered him a new contract at 200K a week. He turned it down. At that point, the club has to look at the opportunity cost. They have to look at the cost of the player. They have to look at his age. They have to look at potentially what they're going to get out of that cost. It would cost the club £26 million to pay him for the next 2 years. It would cost the club £14 million to pay Norgard for the next 2 years plus his transfer fee. No wonder they're going to fucking do that when Zuba.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? Like, can I put two pence in this? Can I put 2 pence in this?
You're talking taking players' wages, right? And this is the one piece that frustrated me when I heard you say this earlier. You can't say that just because Norgard's on 40K a week. When he moves, he's not getting 40K. He's gonna get more than the 40K.
100%.
There's like
even if he gets 80K a week, that's only 4 million a year. That's still 9 million less than what Thomas Partey would get a year.
How much
potentially be rotation?
How much did you say over 2 years, Thomas Partey?
13 million a year.
Because you'd be going on 250. Yeah.
250
on
52 weeks, 13 million a year.
It's about that. To be fair, I know
check my math. Thank you.
Oh, well done. You used the calculator like I did. You're not maths genius, Egal. Come on.
No,
I've already done the math. That's what I'm telling you. So you didn't have to double check it.
He's got a point. The thing is, we talk.
I do when you talk. I've got to double check it.
If I double check all the stuff,
I know something.
If I check everything you say, you wouldn't have a follower, let alone 3,000.
No, I don't mind.
Buddy, you do it as long as me, you'll get a following. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If I do it as long, I'm not kidding. Mate, I'd rather my following than your Hmong following. Don't worry about that.
Don't bite. Yeah. When you bite that, you know what it is.
It's like man's acting silly.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, we're here to have a football conversation. Control yourself. Next, let's talk football.
Here he is. He's got his guns out. He's at his Weetabix this morning, isn't he, Egal? He's got his guns out. He's got his big boy pants on and his big boy vest on. Giving it to Barry McGuigan.
You started this conversation, right?
Wait. Hold on.
Thanks first.
Hey, one sec.
If you got a problem with me, we can sort it out after the stream.
No problem with you. What you crying for?
He doesn't have a problem.
I'm smiling. You want to fight, didn't you? He's
no,
problem
you both.
All right, boys. All right.
Yeah. No, one thing. Look. Both of you got two different opinions on Arsenal, the way you want to view it, innit? And I'm not saying it's you're wrong or you're wrong, innit? Whether who's going to get hot and it says, fuck it, I'm going to have a fight. Mate, remember, I get into it sometimes as well. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, but it is just football, innit? It's just something like this. Just keep it to the players and whatnot. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Because you two, when you deep it, when you lot two do this, yeah, then it gets a bit silly and people go, oh, Gal, what? Or Aaron, you know what you're talking about? I'll beat you. Bro, you're better off doing content together because you ain't got the same opinion. Do you get it? So when you get personal, you're actually missing out on good content. Do you know what I mean? It's true. Is that not true?
I'm just like, you know that.
You two could go on each other's channel.
Do you remember that video that went viral of that guy when he sees those two young black kids that are about to fight and he starts talking to them? He's like, "Listen, guys, you don't need to fight. They're laughing at you. They want you to fight."
So, but think about it though. Anytime Egal and Lee are on the same stream, it's a viral thing.
But it's all right afterwards though. It is what it is though. But I'm just saying, it don't need to go further. Let's just get back to the Arsenal part.
That's the point.
No, we don't want them to. There's no. It's respect. Do you know what I mean? It don't have to go that far. I'm just saying you're better together making content because it's just good content rather than that. That's it. Nothing more. But anyways, what I was going to say.